We have an agreement with them, and really all you do is you install a mechanical switch at your washer line, and then you install new piping that's parallel to your irrigation system, so you don't tie it into anything, and you get $200 from us with a few additional factors that I can talk to you offline after the talk. There's no permit required for a laundry landscape system, so that is a big thing. So there's no permit required for these simple gray wire systems. If you end up tying in a bathroom sink or a shower, you do need to get a permit because you cut into plumbing lines. Yes, miss?
Can this water be used to water plant fruit trees?
Yeah, it's perfect for, well, it's very good for fruit trees, and I include fruit trees on my little infographic that I have. I do have copies of this over by my other materials at the edge of that table. So laundry and landscape gray wire systems, they are great for fruit trees, they're great for large trees, large shrubs, and even establishing drought-tolerant plants. They are a little tricky though because they're extremely sustainable, and you end up having a trade-off of a very sustainable system with a lot of planning and back work. So instead of buying a mechanical filter that does a lot of filtering for you, you end up installing what I refer to as mulch basins that act as a natural filter that you install at the drip line of the plant that you're irrigating. Then that allows the gray water to infiltrate into the soil. So you're adding water content to the soil around the plant over time, and also over time that mulch breaks down into compost that you can reuse on your property. So instead of buying a pump, a filter, getting a permit, you can add a simple mechanical switch, do some signage, and do a little bit of trenching, and you have a gray water system. And we give you $200 for it, or $400 if you live in the city.
How often does it have to be maintained, every new mulch put in?
The mulch, it should be an annual activity, and I recommend checking it at least at 6 months as you're getting used to this new system. But it's probably annual, and then it depends on the type of mulch you use. So if you use a finer textured mulch, that's going to break down a lot faster than a really coarse mulch. And I really recommend using a type of local wood mulch because that actually is going to help turn it into compost over time. The code itself is a little ambiguous where it can even say gravel if it's covered, but you're not building the soil as you would be if you have a wood mulch as the filter. Yes?
Is this concept available through your website? Or?
Yes. So if you go to watersavings.org, again, watersavings.org. It's our microsite, and you can click on any of the buttons you see, and it'll take you to our main rebate program. Our URLs are very long and complicated, so watersavings.org, you can find more about this program. And I also do my best to maintain other types of resources in addition to this type of gray water system. Yes, sir?
So you have to use some kind of special soap?
Great question. You do have to be conscious of how you use soap and the type of soap you use. So with that said, you don't need to give up bleach forever because you have this handy little switch that's in the visible and accessible area. If you need to run a bleach load, you just flip it to the sewer and you can run a bleach load. Also, liquid soaps tend to be better overall than powdered soaps because a powdered soap has a salt base typically, whereas a liquid soap has a water base. The liquid soap will have less of an impact on the amount of salinity that may get built up over time in the soil, and also less of an effect on the pH of the soil, which impacts how a plant can actually uptake nutrients over time. And there are also gray water safe brands that are coming out now, and you can also look out for environmentally friendly soaps. And I do have resources for helping you find specific soaps that are better. Yes?
And so the rebate, you can get this even if you live in Santa Clara County?
Yeah, if you live in Santa Clara County and you live in a single family home and some duplexes, you can get this rebate.
And could that go into like a dry well rather than landscaping?
Oh, dry well. That's a great question.
To put it back into the ground for it.
Oh, instead of having it around plants?
Yeah.
You could technically do it. I do require people to apply before they do any of the work. And then that gives me a chance to make sure that anything I say in a presentation to a really good question is accurate. We do have an internal rule where the aquifer can't have a seasonally high, the seasonally high groundwater has to be 5 feet or deeper at your property. So I talked to my groundwater colleagues, how deep is the groundwater on this property? If it's within 5 feet, then I can't approve you for the rebate. But if it's a lot deeper than, if it's deeper than that, you're good to go. So this is part of the process. And it's to protect any potential issues of contaminating the quality of the groundwater supply. Let me just skip through real quick. A lot of this information again can be on watersavings.org. For businesses, we actually will replace any 3.5 gallon per flush toilets or higher flush volume urinals for free. We give out free pre-owned sprayers, which are the fixtures you use in a kitchen. We have a sub-meter rebate. If any of you are in a multifamily complex, we give you $150 per sub-meter. And this is a really important program. I mentioned that we have a custom measure rebate program. This is an open-ended program. If it saves water and it meets our minimum requirements, we will give you a rebate for it. It's a maximum rebate of $50,000, a minimum of $400. Some examples are laundromats that incorporate recycled water. So instead of sending that water into the sewer, they incorporate new technology to reduce the amount of water they use, and then also increasing efficiency of how cooling tower water is used. So it's a very open-ended and flexible program. Then we do a lot of outreach, like today. Thanks for staying after dark, everyone. That was a really great questions from all of you. I really appreciate it. It made me sweat a little bit. But again, you have my card. My card's in 2 places back there. Feel free to email me. I think there's a couple questions, especially towards the beginning, that I struggled a little bit with, so feel free to follow up with me and I'll get you the best answer I can. And then remember, we have the Access Valley Water app where you can also ask questions to or report water waste, or give me a call or an email at drop@valleywater.org about water waste you see, because it's still out there.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you for coming, and maybe you could grab it. He does have to go all the way back to Santa Cruz. And I forgot to say, but we do have an offer for those of you who are not current members of the Sierra Club. There's a $15 fee that's waived. You should fill this out, and we use other funds, donations from tonight to pay
Free
it. So-
1-year membership, is that what it is?
You're current. You can go.
Oh, darn.
So thank you all, and I think next month, about Coyote Valley.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you. Great question.
Nobody wants a free,
They